Hi everyone, I'm Dina Proctor, life and business coach and author of the best-selling book, Madly Chasing Peace, How I Went From Hell to Happy in 9 Minutes a Day. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. I wanted to talk a little bit today about managing the never-ending to-do list and how to handle that feeling of being overwhelmed. And I want to give you a little bit of insight and kind of my theory about what happens when we're really overwhelmed. I know that you've probably had the experience of being in the zone. You might know what I'm talking about when I say that it's one of those days where you get a week and a half's worth of work done in 4 hours, or you crank through every email in your inbox, or you're able to manage, everything at home and work and you've got everything in balance, and it just feels like I must have gotten extra time from somewhere. This is an amazing feeling. I'm getting so much done. I'm so super productive today. So how do we manage that with that feeling of total overwhelm? A lot of times when we feel overwhelmed, it's almost like being paralyzed. So my kind of take on this, or my theory about what happens when we get overwhelmed and feel almost paralyzed, there's too much to do and we'll never get it done, versus that feeling of being in the zone, let me give you an analogy, actually. It's picture all of these. I picture bubbles. You can picture cars on a highway. You can picture whatever it is, just a lot of little entities that are outside of you. Okay, so you could be observing all of these cars on the highway, or I like to picture bubbles, like little kids blow bubbles, and there's just, tens and dozens and hundreds of them. So each bubble is an item on your to-do list. So one could be pick up the kids, one could be answer emails, one could be schedule a trip, one could be do a report for a manager, or schedule emails, or whatever it is. And when we are looking at all the bubbles and not engaged in any of them, that's the feeling of overwhelm. We're not fully focused inside one of those activities, so we're looking at them from the outside, not engaged in any of them, and that's that feeling of overwhelm, of, oh my gosh, I can't get any of this done. That feeling in the zone is taking one bubble at a time, really entering it, or one of those cars at a time, entering it, embodying it, and fully engaging with 100% focus in that activity. So the difference between being in the zone and being in that place of overwhelm is the question of how focused are you. If you have split focus, meaning you're trying to focus on several different things at once and you're not fully, actively 100% engaged in one activity, you'll probably have that feeling of overwhelm, of I don't have enough time, it's not all going to get done, I'm trying to answer calls and emails and drive all at the same time. It's not a satisfying experience. We feel like we're kind of spinning our wheels and not getting anywhere. But I have found that we can cultivate that feeling of being in the zone if we look at our to-do list, everything we have to do for the day, prioritize, of course, regarding deadlines or times of the day that things need to get done, and take one thing at a time and fully 100% immerse ourselves in that activity, just that one activity. And if it feels like we have too many, oh my gosh, I have to do this project, but it's not the only thing I have to do, set a timer. Set a timer for even 7 minutes or 21 minutes or 28 minutes, just a weird amount of time. For some reason, a weird amount of time that I'm setting a clock for, rather than 5 minutes or 15 minutes, if I set it for an odd number of minutes, like an odd time, it motivates me in a different way to get things done. It's like, okay, I'm playing this beat the clock game. I've only got 7 minutes or 8 minutes to get through this or to get started on this. And what happens when you do that, what I have noticed anyway, a lot of times, is that when I set that timer and get engaged in that activity, the timer goes off, but I'm so fully engrossed, I want to stay with it. Or if I have to leave it, I feel that sense of satisfaction because I've 100% immersed in one of those bubbles and one of those items on the to-do list. So when I'm driving, I am driving. I am fully 100% driving, or if you like to listen to audiobooks or whatever, that makes you feel that fully engaged feeling, that 100% focus, that you're engaged in something, you're getting something done, you're being productive. But I think that the secret between being in the zone and having that feeling of overwhelm is how focused you are. If you've got split focus, it's not very satisfying. That's when I have split focus and I'm trying to get something done, that's when I find I make more mistakes, I have to go back, so it ends up taking more time than if I had cultivated that feeling of being in the zone, having 100% focus, and kind of doing it better the first time around so I don't have to go back to it. So I hope this is helpful for you. It's been helpful for some of the people that I've coached and worked with. And for me to remember it when I'm in that feeling of overwhelm, I just tell myself, pick an activity, engage in it fully, even if it's just for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 8 minutes, and get yourself engrossed in it. That will give you a feeling of relief, of I'm making progress, I'm moving forward, I'm being productive. So thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned. We'll have more videos for you soon. Thanks.